When it comes to finding your perfect mate, no one seems to have it super easy. But across America, one group of people has a particularly tough time, and that group is black women. RT correspondent Christine Frizzell brings us the story. Check this out.
At 34 years old, Candy Phillips says she knows what she wants in a relationship. But she's still missing a key ingredient. A good man.
I don't have diseases. I don't have an attitude problem. I don't like to fight, you know.
What Phillips does have? Her own house and a good job.
Hi, this is Candy Phillips.
But she says previous relationships have gone bad, including her last one with a guy who started stalking her.
Wow, this is the first time I've been open to dating someone who made less money so that I wasn't limiting myself, and then he turns out to be the craziest that I've ever come across.
28-year-old Siobhan Conyers is in the same boat. A full-time job as a mental health counselor, and in her spare time, she's working on her master's degree.
A lot of guys, they're just either not on my level, I would like to say. We don't share the same interest, or they're weird.
Both Conyers and Phillips say they're open-minded, but ideally the men they're looking for have one important trait. They'll be black.
My dad is a big, strong, dark-skinned black man, and I've felt embarrassed that I couldn't bring a man home that looked like him.
My family's more so, you better bring home a black man.
So Conyers makes the best effort she can, even accepting a date with a man 25 years older. She invited our crew to come along.
This is the first date with the guy that my friend hooked me up with.
That enthusiasm faded after her date was late. 15 minutes, then 30, then 45 before he finally arrived.
How are you? Well, I'm happy you're here, finally.
And these women are not unique. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, in America, more than 44% of black women have never married. That's compared to 32% of Hispanic women and 23% of white women.
It's like everybody is waiting for a certain cut of meat. And the cut's not available.
Another issue, black men also make up a high percentage of the prison population and are much more willing to date outside their race. About 80% of black-white mixed-race couples look like this instead of like this.
But I think brothers need to turn around and ask their other brothers, the professional athletes, the stars, the very high-paid brothers who feel like they need a white girl when they get to that position.
Until that happens, finding the right man with the right color skin may be a difficult task. Christine Frizzell, RT, Washington, D.C.
Well, joining me now to talk more about this story, RT correspondent Christine Frizzell. Christine, first of all, 45% versus 23%, a significant difference here. What do these women say about this phenomenon?
Well, there's a lot of things, and everybody has their own theories, but we can look at just numbers. Statistics show, this is really interesting, there are more than 1.8 million black women than there are black men. So right off the bat, as far as like who's born, you know, they're behind. Then we have a lot of different aspects. Some of the women that I spoke to, they say, you know what, a lot of these guys, they're raised by single moms. So then they have to, you know, kind of be grown up. So as soon as they get out of their mom's house, they don't want to settle down with another woman. They want to go have fun. This is a theory, of course. So they have a lot of different ways.
One, right?
Yeah, I mean, it sounded interesting, but it's very frustrating for them, for sure.
You know, even we saw in your story, even Oprah has talked about this and brought this sort of issue to light. Do you think it'll change at all?
It's really hard. Now, there are some numbers also that I found that show that black women in the last 10 years, double the amount of black women are dating outside their race. So they're willing to say, okay, I don't have to date a black man. But still, those numbers are very low. Traditionally, they want someone who, you know, like the girl in the story said, looks like their father.
So we all want to know, The final verdict, that 20-something girl who was waiting in that jazz club, nice jazz club here in D.C., right? For that 50-something-year-old guy, are they now an item? What's going on there?
No, she said, she wanted to give it a try because she's single and why not, But she said they didn't really have anything in common to talk about. He's significantly older, 53 years old versus her 28 years old. She said the date was fine, but she has no desire to continue with that, continue dating older women.
And you said she was so excited about it, but she knew how old he was. So was she expecting something else? And is this kind of a trend where they say, okay, he may be so much older than I am, but maybe, just maybe, we'll have all these things in common?
Well, back to the theory I spoke about before, these black men, they have their pick. They have their pick of all the attractive women because there are less of them and more women. Also, as far as education levels go, if you take out of the population the guys who don't have high school diplomas, who don't have jobs, and then as I also mentioned in the story, who are incarcerated, that means even less. So they have a lot more options. So she thought, you know what, maybe by the time they reach their 50s, maybe they're going to be ready to settle down. Maybe they'll be mature. Maybe they'll know how to treat a woman. Maybe they're not going to want to, take me out tonight and take another girl out tomorrow night. So all these reasons led her to accept the date. But, in terms of finding a common ground, it was just too hard.
I bet she was hoping that maybe by their 50s that maybe men grow up. Really briefly, Christine, is it a case, yes or no, where some of these women may be a little bit too picky?
I think that if you have a college degree and a good education and you're attractive, you should be allowed to be picky. You should be allowed to find somebody who shares those values with you.
I could not agree more. RT's Christine Frizzell, thank you so much for bringing us that report.